We've come a long way when it comes to AI image generators. Remember when AI gave you like 6 fingers and 2 left hands? Or when all the skin looked plastic, AI-like, and the text on the screen was total gibberish? It feels like we're kind of taking it for granted at how great AI has become. Images like these, for example, look realistic and are almost indistinguishable from a real photo, which can be a bit of a problem. But it also opens up massive new opportunities for making AI art, film stills, ad creatives, or even posters. Which brings us to the big question. What is the best AI image generator right now? In my opinion, there are right now 3 AI image generators that are worth your time and your money. These are Nano Banana Pro, GPT Image 2 and Midjourney. And in today's video, I will walk you through exactly how to use them and when to use them, so that by the end of watching it, you know exactly which AI image generator you should use. You can try it both Nano Banana and GPT Image 2 on Higgsfield. They were also kind enough to sponsor this video, but this doesn't affect the rating of what the performance is. I will link all the AI image generators in the description down below, so you can try it out for yourself and see who you think is the best one. We're starting off with GPT Image 2. So on Higgsfield, you can add up to 16 image references, which is quite a lot when it comes to generating images. I will do a test on that later. Besides that, you can choose between low, medium, and high. What this will mean is low is the fastest and the cheapest, high is the best for fidelity. I will give you a bit of a test in a second. Besides that, you can choose the aspect ratio and you can choose your batch size. So let's see what the differentiation is between low, medium, and high. So I've generated all 3 of these images with the exact same prompt. Starting off with the image on low, we can see that this is the worst result. The skin looks too plastic, the surroundings of her are too glitchy, and also the text around her just doesn't make sense. Then we have medium. This looks a little bit better, but still it feels like it is focusing all the processing power on the subject and not on the background, because if we zoom in right here, then we can see a bit of morphing going on right there. And also the text right there is not that great. Lastly, we have high. This is the setting I would recommend for most people. It's also the most expensive, unfortunately, but if you want to get great images, I would definitely use high. It takes a bit longer to generate, but if we look at these images out of the 3, this is the best one, although it's still not perfect. Some things in the background still don't make a lot of sense, but more on the full comparison later. Then we have Nano Banana. You have the option between Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro. Now the question is, which one should you pick? So let's put them side by side and let me show you which one you should use. So Nano Banana Pro is the older model, but yet it's more expensive than Nano Banana 2. The reason why is because it provides more details, it has more accurate lighting, and it is better at texture in my opinion. For Nano Banana 2, it is cheaper, it is faster, it is also better at text rendering, and it also has better prompt adherence. So yeah, that's a pity. Like, which one should you actually use? I would say if you're trying to save credits, you can use Nano Banana 2 for 80% of your generations and use Nano Banana Pro only if you have like a very specific character with a lot of details or like a lot of texture that you need to generate. The bigger question is, should you be using GPT Image 2 or Nano Banana? We will find that out in a sec when we're doing the comparison. Then we have Midjourney, a completely different player. So Midjourney, we have V8.1 that has recently released. V8 got a bit of hate, a bit of negativity about it because it didn't quite look good. If you want to start using V8, then you have to go over to settings and you need to make sure that you select it right here. Previously, this was only available through the alpha version, but now you can already start using this in the normal version. The other thing with Midjourney is it is one of the more complex AI image generators, I would say. Like, the way I use it is I love getting inspiration from like this homepage. There are so many great artists that make insane stuff. Like, for example, this insanely textured. And this is the stuff that you can make with Midjourney. It is also highly customizable, almost too customizable, because it comes with a bit of a guide. Midjourney could as well be a full video on its own, because you have this parameter list, you have like things like variety or chaos, all type of different codes that you could put into the prompt to make it your own. You also with Midjourney can personalize your setting or your aesthetic like, and you can teach it what you find beautiful by like literally rating a lot of different images, which makes this even more complicated to compare because what I might like is not something that you might like. The last thing I want to say about Midjourney is that it is a great tool for artists. So it has a great community feature with the explore page. It is great for customizing things, personalizing things. It just takes a bit of work to get used to. It is not as like ready out of the box as you would have had with Nano Banana or GPT Image 2. So now that you know what the strengths and the weaknesses are of each tool, let's now compare them. And this was quite hard to do because they're good at different things. So how do you really compare them? I tried doing it multiple different ways. So first of all, I created this MD file where I basically put like all of the instructions on how to use Nano Banana, how to use GPT, how to use Midjourney into one MD instruction file. And then I used that to create my prompts. The other thing that I tried is just having as simple prompts as possible and then to see which one I like the most. So that's what we're gonna do now. I will walk you through the prompts that I've used. You can also see this entire document in my school community, including all the prompts that I use that are also in there. Starting off with the first test, which is realism. So for this test, I wanted to have a single person, which is a Ukrainian woman in her early 20s reading a Harry Potter book, which is called The Prisoner of Azkaban in a casual Gen Z library. And I'm added in a few details. I made this prompt using the MD file. So we're adding in some details, like the phone has taken a picture at a moderate high angle, about 18 inches away from her face, natural close framing, gentle perspective without distortion. And she also is being a bit cheeky while sticking out her tongue to the camera. And the important thing I wanted to mention here is that behind her, there are two people out of focus sitting on their laptop on beanbags. Hyper-realistic skin texture, visible freckles and peach fuzz, like I just added in some more details. So let's see what we got with GPT Image 2. And right off the bat, this looks pretty realistic. This looks like a real image. We got the dimple going on, we got Harry Potter book. If we put the reference of the books next to it, then the cover looks just like it. We got one person sitting on a beanbag right there on a laptop, and the other person is not sitting on a beanbag. We go back to that person, by the way. That's the thing I feel like GPT Image 2 is sometimes doing a bit weird. Like, is she wearing like trousers with a skirt or what? Like, what is this combination going on there? In terms of subject, I find this very, very strong. I find it very good and well generated. Let's compare that to Nano Banana. So here we have the book, slightly different cover, but it still makes sense. If we pull up the cover, then we can put them side by side and we can see it looks somewhat accurate from what you can see from here. Then if we go over to the girl, we have freckles, we have some skin texture. I don't quite see a dimple. It's more like acne than freckles, I would say here. It feels like it has, like Nano Banana has a classic look to it, in my opinion. Like I can now sense what is a Nano Banana image compared to some other image generators. If we look behind her, we can see two people sitting on beanbags, not on their laptop. They're probably reading the same book. And we have some more people going on right here, which I didn't prompt for, but it doesn't look too bad. All in all, if I had to put this side by side with GPT, I would give it to GPT Image 2. Then next up, we got Midjourney. And same as with Nano Banana, where you have that kind of like overexposure going on, Midjourney has a different effect, kind of like bokeh, but also like a smooth skin texture, where all of these faces look the same to me. Even here in the background, we do have one person on a beanbag. This guy just passed out. We got another guy. All in all, it's not bad, but with Midjourney, for some reason, it's creating extremely like blurry backgrounds. But even when I say like no blur, and that's what we see here too, where we still have some kind of blur going on. All in all, if I had to give my rating on this one, I would say GPT Image 2 is my favorite. And then it would be Nano Banana Pro and then Midjourney. Like it's a tough one. Like all three of them are pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. Here we're testing realism on multiple people. So for the prompt here, I tried adding in a lot of different details. So we got a POV shot from a customer seat in an American diner. An African-American male server in his late 20s, tall and lean build, medium length dreadlocks, brown eyes, small gap in his front teeth, neat black apron over a white shirt, placing a plate of strawberry pancakes with maple syrup on the table. The guy's looking a bit focused around placing that plate correctly, and then there's a coworker in the back that's urgently calling out to him, and across him sits a grumpy Asian teenager in a hoodie pulled up with a beanie and Sony headphones, holding his phone horizontally, zoned out and natural in the morning light. He's zoned out and he's just like playing on his phone. phone. So let's see what we got here with GPT Image 2. And honestly, this one I felt like is impressive. Like, we got this guy not giving any shit about like what's going on around him. He just wants to play his game. This guy being locked in, placing down the pancakes, and the pancakes look good. Then we got the server lady in the back that is like calling him out like, yo dude, hurry up. We got some more dishes to plate. And even if we look at the text here, today's special chicken sauté. Okay, I think that's an error. We got it with mashed veggies. All in all, I quite like it. I do like it. Then we got Nano Banana Pro. And here we also have our guy serving pancakes with some maple syrup. Again, and that's not to like, I'm not biased into any of them. Like maybe you will call me out in the comments, say I'm biased. Like I use Nano Banana a lot, but still, like if I compare this, like I can see like the overexposure on his forehead, on the table, on like the windows. It feels too overexposed. It feels too perfect. So we got our guy playing on his phone. He's not giving any shit. Then we got our guy being happy. The gap in his tooth is a bit too extreme, I would say. This looks slightly fake, but I do like that we have like Sally's. It kept the consistency going on. And she's calling out to him. Looks like a true American diner to me. Then for Midjourney, I think it might be too detailed. Like it captured the guy, it's too sharp. We do have the guy on his phone, it's not horizontally. We don't have the plate of pancakes in focus, and this guy's looking like, yeah, boy. I mean, it's sharp. It doesn't have that like too fake-ish feeling like Nano Banana has, but it's not what I was hoping for. I would say if I were to rank this, like again, GPT Image 2 was best. Nano Banana close second, and Midjourney just missed this one. Like this was not what I had in mind. For the next test, we're going with a extreme close-up. And for this, I picked a macro shot of a rotten wooden tree trunk with a large hole in it with fire ants crawling out of it. And on the right side of the frame, there's a ladybug munching on a leaf. A praying mantis is stalking from behind, and it is shot on a 100mm macro lens at f4, natural daylight, hyper-realistic detail. So let's check it out. GPT Image 2. Wow, this looks sharp. Especially this guy being extremely detailed. Then we got the ladybug. Like, is he munching on a leaf? Kinda. And then we got the praying mantis, like stalking him from behind. Like honestly, this is great. Like this is not bad. Just trying to figure out like what's going on here. If this is like morphing or if it's just like two ants stacked together or something. But overall, I don't have much bad to say about this. Then we have Nano Banana, a lot brighter. We have our ants. I mean, it looks good. In general, I would say like macro shots to me always look fake because you never see them so close with so much detail and so much sharpness. Then the ladybug is sitting on a leaf while eating his own tiny leaf. Ladybug looks realistic though. And then we have the praying mantis like stalking them. Again, this also looks quite good. This is more of a taste to personal preference. Then lastly, we got Midjourney. And here Midjourney again added a lot of bokeh. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I feel like it might be a little bit too much. I do like the ladybug though, like it's extremely detailed. Even the hairs on the leaf and on the ant, like looks really good. I just would say like praying mantises throw me off. Like the head is in focus, but the body is not. And it's kind of like disappearing or morphing or merging even into the leaf. Honestly, this is a tough one. I would love to hear in the comments like what your rating would be on these images. Like which one would you say wins in this test, the extreme close-up one? I don't want to like say GPT Image 2 again, but I'm still leaning towards it. But I'm also quite liking Midjourney and Nano Banana. For the next test, we're going over consistency. And a common thing you see me use a lot is character sheets like this. And I've been trying and testing out character sheets on both Nano Banana and on GPT Image 2 and also now on Midjourney. So I've put this long prompt of me basically describing all of the different angles that I want. And I've generated this in Higgsfield using GPT Image 2. And this is the shot it came up with. Now the front image of me looks identical. The side image of me, like my nose might be a little bit more bumpy, but overall this looks good. Then this side I would say looks more realistic. We even got the freckle going on, that makes sense. And then the behind also looks good. Like this image looks good. I would say here on this angle I look a bit weird, but overall this is really, really good. I did the same with Nano Banana and it generated us this one. Again, like this is pretty good. I would say it gave me more freckles than I have. Like I don't have freckles here, here, or here, I would say. But like in terms of the face, it looks a bit more like me, I would say. Like my nose looks like me. Like the side of my face, I would say that looks like me. Where it gets weird, I would say, is again in this image. But to be honest, these are quite close. Now I did the same in Midjourney, but I already had the feeling like that's not gonna work. And it made this version of me. So yeah, that's like, you don't want to create your character sheet in Midjourney. With this reference of me, I would say it's a bit of a draw with GPT Image 2 and Nano Banana. I tried this another time with a different character. Here I had this pirate lady. So good things to highlight here on her is she has like a scar on each of her eyebrows. She has 2 different eye colors. She has a tattoo right there. She has a necklace and she has 3 rings on her hand. I put the same prompt into GPT Image 2 and I would say this is fairly accurate. Like we do have a little bit less scarring going on this left eye right there. I would say it has different eye colors and overall it looks like her. Like we have the tattoo going on, we have the pendant, and on the side image it also looks quite good. On the other side, feel like it left out the scar right there. We do have the pendant. We do even have like a spot of the tattoo. But then on this part, I would say it gets weird. Like maybe this is where you would want to add in some details on how tall this person is. Because like the proportions throw me off here. Like her legs are too tall for her upper body. Like I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, overall it does look like her. Then if we compare it to Nano Banana, then we have a totally different image. This doesn't quite look like the reference. We don't have the scars. We don't have a difference in color. We do have a tattoo going on. We do have a pendant, even one extra one right there, but we don't have that on the second angle. But I must say, like the full body shots look a bit better here. Then for Midjourney, I don't know what it did, but it's made something totally different. Different outfit, different woman. Yeah, it just doesn't work for character sheets. I would say with this test, GPT Image 2 is best. Like I've been using GPT Image 2 mostly for making my character sheets throughout my videos. Moving on, we got image editing. This is a common use case that people use AI image generators for. So I got this image of me. This is not AI. This is a real image of me at the 1 billion summit in Dubai. And I wanted to like use this as a reference. And then I wanted to change my shirt to this like Hawaiian shirt. So I have prompted it with change the clothing to red Hawaiian shirt with a white shirt underneath. Change the background to the text subscribe to Dan Kieft. And also change the background logo to the YouTube logo. I didn't add in a reference of the YouTube logo. But yeah, let's see what it makes out of that. So let's take a look at GPT Image 2. Right off the bat, it has followed my prompt. Like we have the subscribe to Dan Kieft. We have me wearing the red Hawaiian shirt with a white shirt underneath. But I must say, it feels like it doesn't feel like it. It has changed my face. It has changed his face. And it also, she looks kind of identical, I would say. But my face is totally different. All in all, not too bad. Then we have Nano Banana 2 Pro. The color compared to the original one is a lot different. But here, the text, I would say maybe even looks better. Like in GPT Image 2, I feel like the screen is like morphing a little bit. But if we look at the faces again here, this time they're different for all of them. Even like smoother, like this guy's face is like a lot smoother now. Yeah, her face is also different. His face totally different. My face is totally different. Even unrecognizable, I would say. But we do have the Hawaiian shirt going on, which looks quite good on me. And then for Midjourney, yeah, you don't want to use Midjourney for image editing, but it feels like I'm roasting Midjourney now, but Midjourney has other talents, which I will come to in a second. But all in all, if we look at the bigger picture, it's a combination of things. I would say the colors are better on GPT Image 2, text is better on Nano Banana. The Hawaiian shirt, in my opinion, looks more natural and realistic over here, but both tools seem to struggle with containing facial consistency. And I think the reason why that is also is because it's a large image and I'm pretty far away. So the closer you are, the easier it is to keep that consistency. But with images like these, it's getting quite hard. Next up, I wanted to test which one is best at making an image out of references. So with GPT Image 2, you can do up to 16 references. With Nano Banana Pro, you can do up to 13 references. And with Midjourney, you cannot really do this because you can add in like 20 different images in here, but that is a image prompt. You can also add them in as style references, but that's not the way I intended to work. And you have like one start frame. So, I mean, I tried it either way with Midjourney, but I'm already gonna spoil you. It's not gonna look good. But for this test, we have a prompt where we have a 13 image references that we're gonna use. So we have a character sheet of me. Then we have a complete outfit, including gear like a camera, a bag. We have a compass. We have even a leopard, a snake, and like some other details like shoes, binoculars, also this beautiful fruit. And for the prompt, I tagged each and everything in there, and then I started generating it. So for GPT Image 2, we have me leaning against against the tree, like looking at the Black Panther, hoping it didn't spot me. And then if we take a look at all the details is we have the hat on, we have the compass, we have the mangosteen, we have the notebook, we have the camera, the bag, the outfit, shoes even. Oh, we even have the snake here. This one is honestly quite good. Oh, and we have the binoculars. So 13 references. It followed it up quite well. Then for Nano Banana Pro, we have a more vibrant image here. Almost look like one of those Mr. Beast thumbnails. And we have me looking scared or surprised. The Black Panther is already looking at me like he can already see me. But we do have the details in there. We have the snake going on. We have the notepad with the mangosteen. We have the shoes, the pants, the compass, the bag, and the camera, the outfit, binoculars, the hat. Not as good as a GPT Image 2. Then Midjourney, I just couldn't do it. This one, GPT Image 2, the best one, like by far. Then we have Nano Banana and yeah, unfair comparison to Midjourney. Okay, so let's make it a bit more fair to Midjourney. Let me now just make cool cinematic looking images. So here I have a battlefield going on of Chinese cavalry. And let's take a look at each of these images. We're starting off with GPT Image 2. This looks quite good. I would say the background, I'm not liking the style. Like I prompted to be more like cinematic. I do like this guy charging at me, but the way he's positioned feels a bit weird. If we compare that to Nano Banana Pro, then this looks decent, I would say. Sword is, I would say, more of a dagger, not a sword. The surroundings look better in my opinion. Yeah, this feels like a still from a movie. Then Midjourney, I like the style of this the most. Like the feeling of it. The emotion in this guy's face. Devotion to like being at war. Like you can sense that here. If we take a look at a few of the technicalities though, then the way he's holding his sword is quite weird. The way I'm holding my sword here is quite weird. And the background, I mean, it's here the bokeh helps a lot. And we can see that I think this is the back of the head of a horse. Like all in all, in this one, I would love to have like the prompt adherence of ChatGPT, the background of Nano Banana, and the style of Midjourney. Like that would be my perfect image here. Then we got fantasy. So here I have like an elf riding a spacecraft being chased by a dragon. And if we take a look at GPT Image 2, it has done a good job here. Like the colors of the spacecraft, like we see rust going on, like this feels like a bit of a Star Wars spacecraft. Then the elf himself, like he's holding on, but he's quite confident, like he's gonna get away. We even have like texture in his hair where it's like moving in the wind. This is quite good. I quite love this. And the dragon itself, also really good. Then Nano Banana, the dragon looks good though, but this guy, I don't know what's going on with his face. Like this just feels a bit fake. Like this almost feels like from a game. I do like the spacecraft though, but yeah, the guy itself is just not great. It's not the realistic cinematic still from a movie that I expected. Then Midjourney, I'm honestly surprised by this one. Like this one is amazing in my opinion. I love the dragon. I love how good this guy looks in terms of like the confidence that he is like radiating. And just the feeling, like this feels like it has like a screenshot taken from Game of Thrones mixed with Star Wars. Dragon especially is great. I'm not sure what he's holding though, or what these things are, or like why his dagger is appeared like this. All in all, this is a close one between Midjourney and GPT Image 2 for me. Next up we got animation. So I got a 2D anime portrait of a cyberpunk female warrior that is leaning back in a dark alleyway gazing up as she blows a puff of smoke from a cigarette between her fingers. She has long silver teal hair with blunt bangs and she has a sharp angular features. The animation style is arcane and edge runner style. So let's check it out. Quite like this one. Even if we look at the details around her, we can see like Chopper, Hiroshi. Yeah, this looks quite good. I quite like this. Then Nano Banana, way more vibrant. I'm not opposed by it. I think this on its own is also an interesting style. Here, I feel like it comes down to preference. Then Midjourney, this almost looks like art. Like this is not what I intended, but it looks cool. But it is not like the 2D type of animation. This looks more like digital art or something. That's here to say, like with these tests, is like there's no good or wrong. It's up to your own personal preference here. If we were to look at a bit more technical type of prompts, then here I have a poster that I wanted to have made of a new movie that I'm trying to bring out, which is called The Thing. For the prompt, I am generating a heavy blizzard with an empty parka. There's a wet black trail leading away from the parka. In the background, there's a small research outpost with a dim orange window. And at the top of the poster, there's a thin text that is saying it's back. At the bottom of the poster, it's saying a film by Dan Kieft. Then at the bottom of that, we have the thing. And then we have a muted color scheme with film grain. That's what I prompted. So here we have what GPT Image 2 made out of it. Like, you don't even know what the thing is, but the thing looks interesting. Like, it looks like a movie I want to watch. Like, based off this poster, I do definitely like this. I know I prompted it's back in like a thin line, but I almost feel like this should either be removed or like in a bolder text. But all in all, I don't have anything bad to say about this. Like, this looks good. Then Nano Banana. We also have the outpost going on. We have the parka. We don't quite have a black trail, I would say. I do like the font of the text. Film by Dan Kieft looks good. Its back looks decent. It looks good, but it's not as scary as the GPT Image 2 one feels. Then Midjourney. This one feels like a real image, I would say. Yeah, this one looks quite cool. I quite like this style. Like the jacket, you're not sure if the thing is in there or if it's a real person or what's going on. We have a black trail of whatever it is. And then we have a film by Dan Kieft, The Thing. Not sure if I like the text like this. I maybe prefer it like next to each other like the other posters have. This one, to me, is a close tie between GPT Image 2 and Midjourney. Next up, I wanted to create an infographic to see how good it is at text and also making something nice. So I prompted it a super simple prompt saying a beautiful, detailed infographic poster design titled The Hidden World of Mushrooms, exploring the fascinating biology and global impact of fungi for a general audience. So this is what we got with GPT Image 2. I've already gone over this and I am mainly looking at things. If I can see anything that looks off in terms of text, overall design, and I just feel like looking at this, that this could be in a biology book. I even put this in Claude to ask it if it can analyze it, and it said that this looks really accurate. Then we have Nano Banana, totally different style. This is more of a animation type of style. Looks a bit cheap to me. This is not like, I know I didn't prompt it in terms of any style, but it's less good in my opinion. In terms of text, it has done that perfectly. And in terms of how accurate it is, Claude also said that this is accurate. Then lastly, we got Midjourney. This is trippy. The text is gibberish, like you cannot read it. Besides this, you cannot really make anything out of it. The design looks interesting though. It looks like one of those old textbook infographics that's been hand drawn. But yeah, obviously we gotta give this one to GPT Image 2. And then I would say Nano Banana because we can actually read the text. But I do like the design on Midjourney. Let's also try this for making YouTube thumbnails because I'm already using AI tools to make my thumbnails. And I know a lot of people are, but let's see which one is actually better. So I tried making kind of like a Mr. Beast hideout challenge of trying to survive as long as possible in IKEA without being caught. So I got this prompt where I have like a guy walking up to me while I'm sitting underneath a bed on my phone with a lot of like stuff around me. Oh, by the way, I gave it the reference image of me. This is what I made with GPT Image 2. I would say that I like the concept. I like the design. I just don't think this looks like me. It looks a bit too much. Like it does look like some of these YouTube thumbnails, which are a bit like over sharpened. It's good, but it doesn't look like me. Then if we go over to the Nano Banana, for a YouTube thumbnail, I like this one more. Like it looks more like me. Here the overexposure or the colors that are too bright work better. Like this looks good. I like this one more than ChatGPT. And then with Midjourney, like this just looks scary. It just doesn't look like me. So for this one, Nano Banana 2 wins. Then we have GPT Image 2 and then we have Midjourney. Next up, we have intelligence or context gathering. Here I had a prompt where I just wanted to mix different things together without giving it a reference. So I did a POV shot of Pikachu sitting in a warm ambient coffee table shop with a library in front of us. Pikachu is still as a flat 2D cartoon, but the rest of the world is like realistic looking people. And in the background of the coffee shop, we have a person reading a book by Stephen King, while another two is playing a game of snakes and a ladder. There's no background blur or bokeh, and Pikachu is playing Monopoly with me. So GPT Image 2 did it quite well. We were playing Monopoly. Pikachu seems to be broke. The guy is reading It from Stephen King. We are in a coffee shop library like, and these guys are playing like the Snake Ladder or Connect 4. Pretty good overall. It's not too bad. Then next up we have Nano Banana. Here we have Pikachu as our 2D character. We even have like a 2D hat and a 2D car that we are as the character for Monopoly. That looks a bit strange. Like even Pikachu is holding it in 2D, like the cache of it. At least he's not broke in this image. Then we have this girl reading Stephen King It. looks good, a bit more fake. And these guys are playing a board game, which I cannot make out what it is. And for Midjourney, it was outside of their community guidelines, so that was a bit of a limitation there. I would say GPT Image 2 is better in this regard. So all in all, looking at this comparison, which tool should you actually be using? Well, it's not as straightforward as you might think. I would say if you had to choose between GPT Image 2 and Nano Banana, I would pick GPT Image 2 80% of the time over Nano Banana, but I still use Nano Banana. If you're going more art related stuff and you want to have more control, just go with Midjourney. You will have a lot more fun generating there than it is through GPT or Nano Banana. If you need to have good prompt coherence, text prompts, realism, I would say I'm leaning towards GPT Image 2, but Nano Banana can sometimes be good too, so I would maybe generate with both. But overall, it feels like GPT Image 2 has somewhat dethroned Nano Banana, besides some of the things that are going on in the background though. In my opinion, Nano Banana has less hiccups, so to say, than GPT Image 2 has. But if you have the budget, just generate with both. Then you can see for yourself which one you like the most when you're working on a project. I will leave the link to all the tools in the description down below, including this frame link, so you can go over all the prompts yourself and see for yourself which one you like. Click the video that's on the screen right now if you want to see what you can do with GPT Image 2 and Seedance 2 combined.